her hypnotic dance. She holds me here with only a glance. She's over me. She's over me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing out there? That's a little weird. That seems much quieter, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
No.
No?
No.
Wow, it does for me. Let me just see how I'm doing here, ladies and gentlemen. As you can tell, we have really good sound here on the Paranormal Portal again. Why? Because we got a new sound card for the Paranormal Portal machine. So we are now broadcasting in pristine stereo sound, which is awesome. And I'm just really, really pumped and excited. I hope you guys are hearing everything okay. It's just really quiet in my ear. That's so strange. Okay. I don't know why it was that the theme music was so much louder in my ear, but my own voice was much, much quieter. But I hope you guys are hearing me all right. Isaac says it sounds awesome. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, sir. And thank all of you for being here with us tonight. This is our 2-hour Wednesday paranormal extravaganza. We are now currently underway, so to speak. By we, I mean all of you, and I mean me. And I also mean my good friend and co-host, Mr. Don Longbeard.
Hola, ¿esto cómo está?
Bien, ¿y tú?
Bien, bien.
Bien, bien.
Anyhow,
I
don't really speak Spanish or anything other than bad English.
Well, that was pretty convincing, I gotta say. That wasn't bad. How you been, though? Good?
Good, yeah. It's been a busy, long day. Long, busy day. A busy, busy, long day.
It's still the day.
What? I thought it was evening.
Well, yeah, it's still, I guess
All
it is.
over on the East Coast, it's like 10 o'clock.
It is. It's gotten late, and I was just remarking to Don as we were just starting. I was like, God, just look out the window. How much lower the sun is getting in the sky now by 7 o'clock, our start time. And it's like, wow, I'm just not ready for things to start getting chilly, but I don't think there's much we can do about it. I'm trying to be graceful about it, of course, but it is what it is. But we got 2 hours of paranormal fun just waiting for you on deck here, ladies and gentlemen. As always during our shows, when we don't have a guest on, the phone lines are open. And if you want to call in and share something paranormal of your very own,
please do.
Please do, because we love hearing from you guys. But also, we just love hearing your paranormal goodness. So call in, and the number is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500 is the number for fun right here on the Paranormal Portal. And if you want to call in, we'll be doing our best to watch the phone lines and answer as quickly as we can. But that is our plan for tonight. We're just going to have a lot of fun, hopefully, and we're going to drag you guys along with us. And there's just 22 of you in here now, so we got a lot more to come, I'm sure. But I guess, I don't know about you, Don, but are you ready?
Let's do this.
All right, hang on, because we're going in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we are. We are now officially underway. I guess there's no more excuses for delaying it. We are underway. Yeah, what do you think, Don? What should we start with here?
Do
you have any ideas what we should start with, Don?
I don't ever have any ideas.
You don't have any ideas?
Just wait for them to start rolling, and then we just kind of...
Well, Don, obviously there's been stories forever about this mysterious place. Lots of theories and ideas about this part of our global neighborhood. A lot of mysterious intrigue and conspiracies, controversies. But the place I'm talking about is Antarctica. And there's a lot of lore and stories coming from this place that hardly anybody goes, except for research scientists, or there's also the idea that nobody goes there because nobody's allowed to. And I don't know what to make all that. I really don't know too much about it. Is there something to that? Maybe. Of course, Admiral Byrd's expedition, you touched base on that on last Saturday's show, I recall, right?
Yeah, I think I did, yeah.
Yeah, you read something about Admiral Byrd going down there and stuff like that.
We were talking about Operation High Jump, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, apparently there's something coming out of there from animalien.com. It says, under the ice of Antarctica, a mysterious 300-kilometer metal object is hidden.
Boom, boom, boom.
So, could this be the thing that may very well indeed be housing these aliens or extraterrestrials, or at least other people that we don't really understand? Is this where they live? So let's read the article and find out, ladies and gentlemen. But it says, a lot of time has passed since the moment Antarctica was discovered, but to this day, this part of the planet remains a real mystery. Even today, many secrets are hidden under kilometers of ice that humanity doesn't know about. The most interesting mystery is now considered the gravitational anomaly, which is located in the Wilkes Land area, where when a NASA satellite flew over the area in 2002, it recorded a strange impulse. It came from the space under the ice, the diameter of which was about 500 kilometers.
Wow.
The scientific group, led by Professor Ralph von Fries in 2006, found a huge crater. It contained an incomprehensible dense mass, the width of which was about 300 kilometers. In this case, the mass went deep into the crater for almost 850 meters. And experts have suggested that a metal object may be hiding inside of that crater. So, I don't know. Let's see. Scientists believe that under the kilometers of ice in Antarctica are the remains of a giant asteroid.
Wow.
But at the same time, it remains a mystery how the Earth remained intact after colliding with such an incredibly large object. Yeah, that would be huge. I mean, that wasn't the diameter of the one that made the dinosaurs allegedly go extinct. Wasn't it only like 60 kilometers or 6 miles or something like that?
I'll have to look it up.
I don't know, but it was big enough to be a planet killer, whatever it was, allegedly. But other experts believe that there's definitely a space body in our Antarctica, but so far there is no way to get to it and to start studying. An expedition of this nature requires a lot of resources, and if we talk about the cost of the expedition, then the price will be about the same as the price of a manned flight to the Red Planet. That seems hard to believe, doesn't it?
A manned flight to Mars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to believe that it would be about the same cost to have a crew go down to Antarctica.
Right.
As it would be to have them traverse great, vast space.
That's just not right.
Yeah, I don't know if that can be right, but maybe it can be. I don't know. I'm just, just hearing that. That sounds like there's no way those two things could be comparable, is it? They're really getting ripped off on the Antarctic expeditions. Then they should probably set that up for bidding.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
While scientists
come right down.
Yeah, exactly. Turns out it's only about as expensive as going to the moon now.
Yeah.
While scientists have not received any accurate information about the strange object, conspiracy theories offer their versions. Many are sure that a huge alien spacecraft crashed in this place. Others believe that a base was built in that place by extraterrestrials. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There's some kind of gravitational anomaly that was picked up. And they believe there's a large metal thing under the ice. And what is it? Who knows? Any ideas, Don?
Sometimes you don't want to hear my ideas.
I'm always open to your ideas.
How long do they think it's been in there?
They don't know.
That's got to be in there for a long time.
If it's under kilometers of ice. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be under there for a while. Now, here's another interesting thing is that allegedly there are maps that exist, or existed anyway, that showed Antarctica.
Actual land mass, not ice mass.
Right. Well, as an ice mass, or a land mass, but it was also a tropical land.
Right.
And so I don't know. What do you do with that? Because when did Antarctica become an ice mass? Well, if it was during the polar shift, then that would put it a long time ago.
Right.
Right? I mean, wasn't that about 100,000 or so years ago?
Well, they say the let me think here. Gosh, because I say it all the time. I think it's every 25,000 years or
Oh, okay.
so. The poles switch sides and the crustal slip happens.
Okay.
So, but that would I think 25,000 years would be enough time, because think about it. If the crust slipped, even if it was only 45 degrees, or 90 degrees. I'm sorry, 90 degrees. They would end up in the tropics.
Right. It would be about an equatorial
Right.
landmass at that point. Yeah.
Actually, yeah. So interesting, and I kind of do like the idea of the crust slippage, because it does offer some insight or some ideas on why some of these phenomena are the way they are.
Right.
Like the erosion on the Sphinx, and this what you're talking about, this map that shows the Antarctic as a tropical land mass as opposed to just this giant mass of ice.
Right. And that is interesting. Now, here's the thing. If you think, let's say it is 25,000 years ago, as you're suggesting, and we're about due for another one now. Isn't that right?
I think so.
Okay, but I mean, that's like a 25,000 year cycle. We're about at that cycle period, right?
Right. Yeah.
So my point being is that if these maps are indeed genuine, which I can only guess, that, and I'm only going to take it on its face value because I don't know either way, but I've heard that this map exists, at least one version of this map, and I think it came from somebody from Turkey had gotten it. Had got one of their ocean-going voyages had picked up this map from someplace. But the point being is that traditional thinking is that 15, 20, 30, 30,000 years ago, our ancestors were basically, not a lot more than cave dwellers, is the traditional thinking. Mm-hmm. But if there are maps that exist, that would already suggest that our ancestors, going back this far and farther, were much more progressed and developed than we would have thought possible.
Right.
So I mean, which I think is cool. I think that's incredibly cool because I think that stuff is awesome. And again, I think of artifacts out of time and where these weird things are showing up, like screws and rocks,
right.
Hammer and rocks, the London Hammer in Texas. There's so many of these artifacts out of time where these machined aluminum parts are found by mastodon skulls in a clay or in a riverbank.
Right.
Things like that don't add up, that don't make sense, and that show that there was significant technological progress being made way earlier than we thought. And it also kind of reinforces the whole idea that there was a reboot of some kind
right.
that set us back to a Stone Age kind of culture,
right.
which is absolutely terrifying.
Well, and there's a whole lot of possible evidence that says that there is a polar shift that happens and things like that, because there was a mini ice age 12,000 years ago, which cut like the Palouse in Washington, the Palouse range. I can't remember what the heck it's called. I'm tired. And then, of course, down through Glacier National Park, through Montana, down into that place down there with that super volcano.
Yellowstone.
And then, there's another one right down the road. I forget what the name of the flow was called, but it was, I can't remember. But anyhow, that all came through about 12,000 years ago, 13,000 years ago. Oh. You want to learn more about that, look up Graham Hancock and what is his name? Gosh, I just can't remember anything.
You want to go grab a Coca-Cola or something?
No, I just need to grab a nap is what I need. Randall Carlson.
Oh, okay.
Him and
Graham
Hancock. I just said his name.
I
they got together and they did this interesting study of that whole area through Potholes National Park in Washington and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, you look at that, you take this into consideration. Why not? Mm-hmm. Why not? So there you go.
We'll have to see if we can get Graham Hancock on the show.
That would be kind of killer.
I'm going to try to reach out to him and see if he'll come on, because I'd love to
would
hear
be
his
awesome.
thoughts. Obviously he's pretty well versed in all of this, and I got to admit, I have more than just a normal interest in this kind of topic, because I like the idea that there was this amazing progress made earlier, much earlier than we thought. Now, they could also be the what was left of the ancient aliens and whoever left the elongated skull mummies down in Peru and all that. But, those could be where some of this advanced stuff came from. I assume that, having a brain that big, they'd have to have been pretty smart.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure that they probably taught our ancestors a hell of a lot. And, there's all kinds of talk of that in the ancient aliens theorems and stuff. But I think that's interesting. Could there be a UFO down in Antarctica? Sure.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, sure. They could be anywhere. They could be under the sea. They could be anywhere. Under the ice, under the sea. They could be on mountains.
Sorry.
They could be anywhere.
It could be, yeah, absolutely.
Right. So, and especially a gravitational anomaly. Now, if it was a 300-kilometer piece of metal, I imagine that would create a gravitational anomaly, just because of that dense, hard-packed, metal, a
Right.
metallic body of that size would create a serious gravitational shift. So, I mean, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to understand here, but I think this stuff is incredibly interesting. So I'll have to reach out to him and see if he'll come on.
That'd be cool.
That would be very
That'd
cool.
be way cool. And then if you want to talk to somebody about sacred geometry, get Randall Carlson on.
Yeah,
He'll talk about
if I wanted to, yeah.
Talk about that all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot we have to explore with this. But on the face value of it, that's a pretty wild story. I think it's incredibly interesting. But I don't know. Here's another article from Animalien. If you are interested, Don, and the rest of you.
Certainly.
All right, so this one has to do with the human soul. The human soul is immortal, ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know that already. Apparently, according to Animalien, it's true. It says scientists have made a unique discovery.
Ooh, leave it to science.
Yep.
She blinded me with...
Science. Sorry, that just jumped in my head too. It needed to be finished. You couldn't just leave it hanging there like that.
I was waiting for you, buddy.
Yeah,
I was leaving it hanging
I
for
showed
you.
up. I showed up.
It's about time.
Well, I'm a little slow out of the gate, but damn it, I'm good at the finish.
Seeing Ariel songs just a second ago.
All right, so this one is a human soul is immortal. Scientists have made a unique discovery, and what it says is specialists from the University of Arizona have established that our soul, after retreating to another world, exists in quantum reality. Wow. Quantum. We're quantum. It says, according to experts, the protein contains all the information regarding the quantum state of the body in the subatomic level. Data eventually evaporate into space after the death of the person. There is a dispersal of information in the universe. If doctors manage to save a person, then the data is again concentrated in his body. Information is stored at the cell level, cannot be erased, the scientist noted. Experts from the Planck Institute of Physics in Munich agree with these findings, and according to them, the physical reality is just our perception. After death, the soul instantly passes into quantum reality, where rebirth takes place. In this scenario, the soul can exist indefinitely. And that's the whole of the article.
Well, but that's kind of the whole of what we've been saying for 3 years.
It is, and it's kind of the same thing that's, countless religions have been saying.
Oh, yeah,
Look,
sure.
your soul's immortal.
Not worried about them. We only worry about us portalers.
So I think I came. Well, I didn't come up with it. Somebody emailed and said they said they're sending all their love to us and all the portalites.
Oh,
And I was like, portalites. That's a cool word. That's a cool word. Portalites. I love it. You don't love it?
it sits right next to the word porta potty.
No, it does not.
Yeah, you got to have a porta light next to the porta potty.
So you don't-
I think we need to. I think we need to tighten up these.
yeah, dude, you need a sanitation station there then too, right? No, Don, it's not for a portal light. Portalites. I think that's cool. Portalites. Because I've always been looking for what would be a pet name for our listeners, like portal people, portal folk. I don't know. I've been tossing that around forever. And then I got this email and it says, well, I loved you guys and the other Portalites. And it's like, that's cool. So I don't know. You guys will have to tell me what you think, but I thought that was pretty awesome. Portalites. I do. I love that name.
Nessie says Portalites, Portaloo. Too close for me, bro.
Oh, you guys are just well, then come up with a better one. That's you're charged with that then.
Pantaloonians. Thanks,
No,
Cat.
that's no.
Portaloonians, me. Portaloonians.
Portaloonians. No, that won't be going on.
Portalites, less filling.
All right. I just thought it was good. I thought Portalites was kind of a nice little quick name for listeners of the Portal.
Portillions.
I don't like that. It sounds like reptilian.
It sounds like we're all a million.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough one. We just don't have a cool
No,
pet
not
name.
Portal Tears Titan. No.
Portalonians.
Portalonians.
That sounds like they're from Portland.
God.
They got enough on their plate over there, let me tell you. I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. But if you come up with a better name, ladies and gentlemen, for the pet name for our listeners, then I'd love to hear it. If you can come up with one, that's great. So far, the best one I've heard so far is Portalites, but apparently I'm in the minority here, but I thought that was great. Let's continue on. There's more to be read here. That was a very quick article, but I don't think that was anything revolutionary. Like you said, I mean, we've been talking about that kind of stuff forever.
And it just feels right. I mean, just on a pure feeling thing, your body passes and your consciousness, your energy is released back into the, it just makes sense. It feels right to say that.
Yes, I agree.
Mr. Daryl in the chat says Portalites. He gives you the
I think so too,
yes.
Daryl. I think so too. Thank you.
Porticles. The port testicles.
Gotta get to the doctor and have my porticles checked.
Gotta get them drained again.
I got a rash on my porticles.
We really do love you guys. We really do.
I just couldn't help it.
Portal lads and portal ladies.
That's good. Portillions. Again, that's Portillions is just so reptilian. It sounds like, I don't know, it sounds creature-like.
Cephaloportal pods. Cephaloportal-pods.
Cephaloportal-pods.
That's leave it to Black Tree. She's in love with octopi.
Oh, sure. Well, there you have it. That's your homework, ladies and gentlemen. Come up with a good pet name.
There's some other homework you're supposed to be doing too, and nobody's been doing it.
Yeah, guys, we still want to do a fan favorites show. So if you're watching any of these older episodes, please email us. Please email. Don't leave messages all over scattered because I can't like catalog those. Yeah, you guys have no idea how disorganized I am. I mean, I'm mostly hanging on a wing and a prayer anyway, and then if there's things scattered all over the place, I'll never remember where I saw it. So send me an email and let me know what episode you saw. If there's a favorite segment you'd like included on that fan favorites or, whatever, then, give us an episode name and about a timestamp of what you'd like.
Definitely.
What you'd like us to include. And, all of these are valid. So let us know if you would.
Portaholics. Leave that to Titan. Good job.
We need a 12-step program for that one.
Hilton just said a glass of ports. Wow.
The paranormal ports. So, I'm just saying, I'm still looking for that name, but so far I like Portalites. That's really cool. That's my favorite so far. If you guys come up with better ones, I'm all for it. Let me know what you come up with, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just looking. Where's the other one that I had?
13-step program.
13 step instead of 12. You need an extra step for our problems.
Hi, my name's Mike, and I'm a portaholic.
In the Canadian forest, filmed a huge Bigfoot and standing next to a tree, apparently. And this is from an Animalian from January of this year. And it says, according to the description of the video, was shot by a local resident, David Beaver, who hunted moose in these forests.
A beaver hunting moose.
Yeah, a more accurate location as the North Saskatchewan River Valley. A resident of Canada walked through a snowy forest. Suddenly, his eyes fell on a completely gnawed skeleton that hung on a tree. Near the remains, something huge and hairy was spotted. The hunter immediately thought about the Yeti, since the creature was not like any other animal. But the video is very clear, and you can see the smooth coat of a Bigfoot, like a gorilla, as well as the fact that the Yeti stood upright. Now, I wonder why they're saying Yeti, because that's very specifically a Himalayan term. The creature hardly moved. Only occasionally he moved his head. Beaver believes that there was a smaller Bigfoot on the back of the big Yeti. So it's if they're little, they're Bigfoot. If they're big, they're Yetis. If so, then the man could capture the mother and the cub. The hunter soon began to retreat as he was too close to a dangerous animal. So this is apparently near Banff, is what it says in the description. Let me just check this. I want to see how long this is. Oops. I'm going to do that and mute it as I just screen this quickly, because I think I remember this making the round quite a while ago. Yeah, I think I do. I don't know. We don't really have permission to show it, but we can show a clip of it, I think. I'm just trying to figure out what's the part I want to show. Where's the alleged Bigfoot? Oh, it looks like it might be right there.
It's
next to that tree.
It's a Yeti.
A Yeti.
Maybe they're saying Yeti because there's snow.
Maybe.
But
maybe.
they are. If they're up in Banff, it's probably snowing anyhow.
Yeah. That's beautiful up there, too. I've been up there. It's glorious. Beautiful country up there. The mountains are big and peaky. Yeah, I guess this is. I'll just show a bit of this video because it's kind of fair use. I'm not going to use the sound, but I'll show you what the video is. I think this one made the rounds a couple years ago, if I recall right. But it's interesting all the same. Let's see. Let me get this all queued up for you guys. Let me do this. Close this, and I don't know if this does look like fur. It really does. It doesn't look like the foliage around it. So let me just keep going backwards here a little bit. I don't know if he ever sees a face. Yeah, there is a bit of weird movement there where the shoulder goes back and forth. Up in this area, you see that light close out and such. But let's just play a bit of this here so you guys can see it. Let me move this out of the way. All right, here we go. There we go. So we're not going to do the sound, obviously, but this, I believe, I mean, that does look like fur. It doesn't look like the foliage of the tree around it. So, but I do believe this made the rounds a while back, and that, it's at least anomalous. I don't know if that's a face. Is that an eye and a mouth region there? I don't know. That is.
Oh, yeah, it does kind of look like Chewbacca, doesn't it? It
does, doesn't it? Look at the height on that, if that's correct.
Well, Chewbacca was a good 9 foot tall.
No,
he
was
8, 9,
7'6". Oh yeah, look at that. The head just moved. That's crazy. You see that? No, that's like movement, dude. Look at that. I'm not saying it's legitimate. I'm not saying it's not somebody in a suit, but you can see it moved that way. Let me try that again. Let me go back a little further. I'm just going to play that segment again. See it moving? Pulled away a little bit to the left. Now it moved over to the right again.
Huh.
That's curious.
Yeah, that's not wind movement.
No, because everything else is real.
It's fairly stable.
Inconsistent.
It's stable, yeah.
But look at that. That's fur. I don't know. It could just be someone in a suit. I'm not claiming this is actual Bigfoot footage, but that really does look like they might be onto something there. Look at that.
Yeah, it does. It definitely looks like two eyes over the bridge of a nose.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen. So you saw it here. I don't know. I mean, again, we're only going to show a little bit of that because I don't want to step on somebody's copyright. But I think that is, pretty compelling. I again, no claims are being made. I'm just showing you what was represented here on this site. Very, very interesting. Yeah, Justin, it did. It moved. And it doesn't have the same movement as the trees around it. The trees around it had very consistent wind motion.
He was hunting moose. The beaver was hunting a moose, and he saw the moose.
Yeah, that's where the moose thing came from.
Of the Yeti.
But, that's it's good footage.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I agree, Titan. Nice. Again, I can't make any claims on it, but that is the claim that it is represented as, somebody who's hunting moose and came across that. And I think if that's legit, that's a hell of a discovery, because, that clearly isn't foliage. That's not just that. What's that moss? That
lichen.
Is that what it is? That hangs from all the trees around here?
Yeah. It's a lichen.
Okay, so it's like a lichen. It looks like kind of like in the bayou when you see pictures of the swamps and stuff. We get that mossy, hairy stuff hanging.
You know
from
what
trees.
it actually reminds me of, and you're gonna hate me for saying this.
Go ahead.
It reminds me of a ghillie suit.
Oh. This does?
Yeah.
What we just watched?
Well, the way it's draped.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think that these Bigfoot have very, very natural
Spanish moss. Yeah,
Spanish moss.
That might be the one.
Okay. And I don't know if it's the same stuff that's up here, but maybe it is. I know that Spanish moss is down in swamps and stuff, but there's something very similar to it on the trees up here in the north of Idaho. And I've never seen that in Minnesota or anything, so I'm not familiar with it. But it's definitely not that. It's not that moss stuff. It's definitely fur of some kind. Now, is it real fur or synthetic fur? I don't know. But it's definitely a fur. And it's definitely a big figure. That thing is huge.
It was big, yeah.
Yeah, that's like a 9-foot range, kind of huge.
Paranormalies.
No, you're right.
Paranomalies, yeah. Okay. Anyhow.
Yeah, keep coming. Keep working on that, guys. I like that. So it could be synthetic. It was synthetic, Duke? Do you know a backstory on this one? Did Duke say anything?
Other than really synthetic, I haven't seen anything come up.
Take a lichen to lichen. Wild man in Central Europe, wilder man in Germany, woodwose in the British Isles, yeah. Different names all over it.
Paranerds. Go back to school, Duke. Paranerds, oh please.
I don't even know what Portal Capinos is. Farm said. Paraports. Paraports. That sounds like a landing pad or something. I don't know. Paratols. Hilton, you're doing some overtime here on this deal. Hilton is definitely grinding.
Paramaniacs.
That's not bad.
They're a bunch of paramaniacs.
Yeah. But anyway, that is some footage that is professed to be a Bigfoot. Maybe it is. I don't know. What I'm seeing there is, it's hella clean footage, though. It really is.
Did you just say hella?
I did. It's hella clean.
Hella clean.
I'm just getting in touch with my...
Justin said that he told... So the Spanish moss, going back to the Spanish moss, he says, we told our kids it was witch's hair. They got caught in the trees at night when they were flying around.
Ooh, that's cool. I like that. That's a cool legend.
That's interesting.
That's really wild. Your kids must have been terrified.
Must have been. They're still there.
Well, I think they might be a little older now.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So interesting all the same. I don't know. Be the judge on what you think of that footage. I think it's incredibly interesting. I don't know a backstory on it. I think it's been floating around for a while. It's, again, from here, it's from January 10th. On this site, but I don't know if this is the same footage exactly as I saw before. I thought it was initially, but now that I've seen this, I don't think this is something I'm familiar with. But it could be a hell of a capture. Again, possible, but I'm not making any claims, so don't jump on the comments going, geez, it's so fake.
God, you guys are you're fake news.
Yeah, we're not making any claims here on the portal, ladies and gentlemen, but we are just presenting things that are presented out there of paranormal occurrences.
There you go.
These are kind of beautiful. I don't know what to make of these for sure, but they seem to be powerful testaments of faith. And this one is from Animalian, and it has to do with the statue of the Virgin Mary noticed crying in Mexico's church. And they do have a photo. I'll pull it up on the screen because these that have visuals, I think, are better represented visually rather than just verbally. So let me get this up on the screen. There's a picture of the weeping, and you can see the tear going down the trail along the cheek here, and that's, I mean, God, that's wild. During a New Year's Eve service, congregants at a church in Mexico were shocked when they realized that a statue of the Virgin Mary had apparently started crying behind a locked glass case. Oh, it's a locked glass case. Okay.
She was sweating. It's hot in there.
It might have been. It doesn't look like that breathes real well. The unusual scene was allegedly unfolding in the town of Cerro Armadillo Grande at the chapel of San Antonio Obispo. It says, as is often the case with such a possibly miraculous events, word of the uncanny event soon spread across nearby communities, and people started to flock to the church to pray with the crying statue. One witness hypothesized to a local media outlet that the weeping statue could be a sign that something will happen, and showed concern that it is a warning from heaven for disobedience to the law of God.
Oh, jeez.
This thought was repeated by another person who traveled to the church to see the statue and thought it was a message from above that he hopes will not announce disasters. But not everyone is sure that a supernatural event took place at that church, as a number of online viewers in Mexico reacted to the weeping statue's media coverage by calling it a hoax. Well, that's the internet.
Welcome to the World Wide Webs.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a bunch of idiots that are right on the hoax or it's fake button. They got it all ready to go. But it is a touching visual, to see this religious representation. And the Virgin Mary, of course, to the Catholics, Catholicism,
Spanish Catholics,
it's a powerful symbol of their faith. Mm-hmm. And is it impossible that it could be shedding tears due to the state of the world? No, I mean, God, I'm shedding tears for the state of the world right now. So it could be a very powerful testament of current events and what's going on and such. But that's it's interesting. I think that people do receive symbols. I think that we get symbols all the time. Mm-hmm. I think that's, religiously we get symbols, emotionally in our life, the events that unfold are symbols to kind of give us an idea of, are we on the right track? Are we doing the right things? And are things going the way they should? And especially now, as emotionally charged as the entire landscape is. Yeah. If ever there was a time that statues would start crying, this would be it. I mean, really, this is a really scary kind of time, and I think there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of fear in the air right now. So, and then again, people need these kind of things. They need these symbols to remind them not to get too tied up into the garbage of the world. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out of my hat here. But
no. It's what people put worth in. It's all that intrinsic value to these things. Mm-hmm. There have been statues that have wept blood, supposedly, and things like this. And then they found out that there was iron mixed in with whatever the thing was made out of, and it wasn't really blood. It was just iron oxide,
Sure, with condensation.
Yeah, exactly. So, who knows?
And this could be a simple condensation. But isn't it kind of unique that of all the places that this condensation would happen, it would be in the eyes and it would tear down the face? I mean, so condensation, I think, is a possibility. But is it directed? Is there something aiming that phenomena to represent a message? Mm-hmm. And I don't think that those things can be dismissed. Yeah, it could be condensation. I don't think this statue suddenly has tear ducts,
Right.
So this water has to come from somewhere. But is there an intelligence making it condense in that manner and appear as a tear? And so I don't think that just because it can have a mundane explanation as to why there are drops of water it doesn't necessarily negate the beauty of the display.
Yeah, sure, and it doesn't, people are gonna read it the way they read it. I wonder though. I have to ask. I wonder how that tear would be in a beer, my dear.
A tear in the beer, your
Be a
dear?
holy beer.
I guess it might be.
So there's an old what's his name? Bocephus' dad.
Oh, Hank Williams?
Hank Williams. There's a tear in my beer 'cause I'm crying over you.
Oh, sure.
Gosh.
I don't know. I'm
wonder
not.
if it make you hallucinate.
It's like DMT. It's dimethyltryptamine. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a powerful symbol, and maybe it reminds people to hang on to the love or the decency or whatever.
Right. Sure.
So now's the time for that kind of stuff, I think. But beautiful story. I think those kind of things are powerful and are necessary because we always need those resets. We always need those reminders. We get so lost in our worlds. So
That's true.
Yep. Just some thoughts, ladies and gentlemen.
And besides, what are you going to do when you're sitting there bored at church anyhow? You're going to be noticing the statues. Saying, look, that statue's crying.
I don't know, but you want to see something about a ghost photo?
A ghost photo. I like the idea of ghost photos.
Ghost photos, again, Animalian. Another wonderful article. Let's put this one over too, because it is visual as well as a narrative. So I got it all set up here. Pull it up on the screen. You can believe in ghosts, poltergeists or not, but when they begin to somehow manifest themselves, then almost everyone is frightened or begins to build all kinds of fantastic conjectures. And it says this is exactly what happened with a resident of the British city of Barnsley, South Yorkshire, 25-year-old Kelly Green being alone at home. A young mother, Kelly has a small daughter, Scarlet Rose, and was talking to a friend through her Snapchat mobile application when the friend suddenly noticed a ghostly head behind Kelly, very similar to a girl with long blonde hair. A friend immediately sent the photo with the question, "Who is it behind you?" Huh. Yeah, it does kind of look like it could be. Kelly's father, Derek, believes that it could be the ghost of his unborn daughter, Jessica, Kelly Green's older sister. Jessica died in the womb as a miscarriage 2 years before the birth of Kelly. Kelly herself is afraid to see her daughter, Scarlet Rose, in the picture and therefore thinks that she may be in danger. Meanwhile, paranormal investigators are sure that the girl in the picture is in the clothes of the 17th century, and therefore it cannot be either her unborn sister or her daughter, Scarlet Rose. Most likely, the phantom in the picture is somehow connected with the house, or maybe with ancestors of Kelly. Huh. So there's the photo. Interesting. It does break up the pattern behind, so it's whatever is there does seem to be interrupting the striped pattern of whatever this is, a curtain or something maybe.
Maybe wallpaper, something.
Yeah, wallpaper, a curtain
on the wall.
Right. So whatever's here is visually blocking the light. Now, again, I can't make any representations that it's even a person or an apparition, but it's something there. So that part is true. What it is, I don't know, but it could be a ghost photo. Could be, Don.
Is that like a profile? Do you see like it's the nose is pointing to what is it to the left there? And
like here, like that's the bridge.
Yeah. Well,
and
no,
this is the cheekbone on the side.
No, that's the nose.
Jaw.
See, that's the nose and the cheekbone and the eye, and then like a robe or something, a black robe, or maybe that's just really thick hair coming down right there.
Yeah, they said that's
profile.
where I think they came with the blonde, and that's a lot of hair. If this is all hair, that's a lot of hair.
No. Well, yeah, okay, you can look at it that way. This being the bridge and the nose here. But I was thinking, well, when I saw it over here, it looked different. It looked like the bridge and nose kid came this way, the chin, and then this would be the ear, and then the hair comes down that way. So it'd be like
it's almost turned away.
Yeah.
Oh, so this would be the jawline and
the shame.
Oh, I see. Like this would be the eye, and this is
the eye, the nose. Yeah.
I guess that's possible. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's more. Maybe that's even more likely. I don't know. I was seeing an eye here and an eye here and a nose in between, that nostril down here and then a chin line here.
No, I see that too. Yeah. I think it makes more sense to me. Turn to the left or whatever that is.
Yeah, maybe it does. Maybe it does, but it's got a lovely hair, whatever she is.
It's lovely.
It's lovely, but that's another one. Ghostly photo, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of strangeness here on the Paranormal Portal. Visual examples for your viewing entertainment. Hey, what?
There's a phone call.
There's a phone. No, there is not.
There was a phone call.
Was there?
Somebody should call in. I thought there was a phone call.
Did somebody call in?
I'm sure I saw a phone call because there were capital letters. You know where it says like anonymous there? It was all capital letters below it. Somebody was on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Somebody, as a matter of fact, Duke just said, Brent, check phone.
I'm checking it now. There's nothing there. So if somebody's trying to call in.
Try again. We'll
Try
keep
again.
our eye there. We get distracted. We have like, between us, we have like five screens between us.
Yeah, we got 5 screens of information floating around here. So, and then when we're examining pictures and stuff, I get real tunnel vision. So
There it is.
There it is. All right, let's get to this phone call we've got here. And this is area code 225. You're on the air.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I'm from South Louisiana. I had a very scary Ouija board encounter.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Please tell us.
So, my grandma's house was haunted. It was built on a slave graveyard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And supposedly, like I've heard from a couple places, that she might have or might not have been a witch.
Ooh, okay.
So, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah. So, she always used to push the Ouija board on us when we were young.
Okay.
So we eventually we used it,
Mm-hmm.
And she said, y'all can take it. And so we took it and we went to our house with it. And me and my brother and a couple of our really good friends used it.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So I've seen a guy talk in a completely different tone of voice that he had. Now, I don't think he was capable of making that tone of voice. It was a really deep tone of voice.
Oh, man.
So that was a precursor to what happened.
Okay.
So we kept playing it because that thing was telling us exactly what we wanted to hear.
Right.
So it would tell us at first, we were asking, is this our grandpa? And, it was like, yeah. Yeah, we didn't know. Dude, we were young. We were teenagers.
Right.
So we were asking it, is this somebody we know? And it was like, yeah. And then we asked it what our futures would be. And it told us everything we wanted to hear. Wow. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we would ask it certain things that nobody would know, like to make sure that nobody was pushing the board, pushing the planchette.
Yep.
So, yep. So, and it would tell you the same exact right thing. So, like a little bit further, we played with it for a while, and further down the line, it got attached to my brother. And it told my brother he was going to be a doctor.
Uh-huh.
And right now, my brother is a doctor.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Dude, he was failing every class in high school.
Oh,
so
man.
right now he's a doctor. And there was something that attached itself to him.
Okay.
It said its name was Sodor, Sodor.
Wow. Okay.
And it didn't want to talk to anybody but him. But he didn't believe in it at first, so he had a best friend. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
His best friend was I'll call him RD. Okay.
Okay.
So he smoked some weed one night. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of we were drinking beer and we were young. We had a campfire out like around my parents' pond. So Ordi all of a sudden started talking in a strange language and a strange tone of voice that he can't do it, because he was not the brightest guy.
Okay.
He really couldn't make up anything. So we went around the pond, the other side of the pond, because we were really scared, and we whispered to each other stuff, and he told us exactly what we were saying.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
This was that same Ouija board. Yeah, man. So we went to the other side of the pond and tried to talk to him to see if we could kind of conjure up the normal guy that we know.
Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't. And he was telling my brother, take my hand, take my hand. And he was like kneeling down by the fire. So you see, he was telling him, take my hand. And we were telling him, dude, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it.
Right.
So he starts he starts having a fit and saying different, like a different voice and a different language.
Oh.
And it really did flow like a language. It didn't sound like gibberish.
Okay.
It really did flow. So we wound up just praying. And, that he came back to himself. And, that's the story about that.
That's
But
wild.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm sorry. It's kind of anticlimactic.
No.
But I've seen somebody possessed, and it is crazy, because I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it.
Yeah, I'm just glad it was a temporary kind of thing. Was that the end of the experience for him then, or was he okay after that?
Yeah, dude, he doesn't remember it at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He does not remember it.
Because, that can be the start
Does not remember it.
that can be the start of a lot of problems. But I'm glad that was only temporary.
Yeah. I know it. And right now, my brother's a doctor. And like I said, dude, he was, he had F's in high school. But he's a doctor.
Wow.
And, it was after him. He has a strong personality.
Mm-hmm.
He's a person that makes a difference in the world. And it just clung on to him. You know what? He saw a giant, not giant, I would say about 6 foot cloaked. It looked like it was cloaked figure, in the corner of his eye a couple times.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And he got to where he was playing with it himself.
Like the Ouija board?
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, that's never a good idea.
Yeah, I know.
Huh.
And one time he was washing my mom's. She had you remember those night Broncos?
Night Broncos.
Those really ugly Broncos in the 90s, and they were pink, and they called them Night.
I don't remember them, but I don't think I want to either.
Yeah, well, he had a squeegee on the top of the Bronco, and he saw it fall down for no reason, and it was coming straight for him, and all of a sudden it went into the little door catch thing. You know what I'm talking about? The little, it's a little,
Yeah, the little spot.
like kind of square thing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a little square thing that catches the door mechanism that makes it close.
Right. Oh yeah. Yep. Wow.
Yeah, dude. And he had a succubus incident. Really, I'm not going to explain that to you because, it's probably not the best thing to do right now on, your channel.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man. But he did have a succubus incident, too.
Yeah.
Right at the same time.
Oh man! So he was he was getting it. I don't know how to say this right. He had a lot of problems.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but
No.
Brent was going to wind up to that one. I was just going to die laughing.
Oh, that poor guy! But he continued to use the Ouija board, though, right?
Well, no, dude. This was before everything happened with his best partner.
Oh.
Okay. So that was the catalyzing event that caused the stoppage of the Ouija board.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Wow.
Good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good for you.
Nobody
guys.
touched the fence, but you know what? I don't think we ever closed it.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, man, I don't know. But I had, you know what? I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it.
Right.
But I definitely saw a dude I know be, I guess, possessed by somebody or something that, you know, the dude could never do.
Wow. That's really intense.
We were on the other side of the pond. We said, or he's faking it, or D's faking it. We were whispering to each other. And this is at least 100, maybe 120 yards.
Wow.
We said, or D's faking it. We whispered, and he would say, I'm not faking anything. I know exactly what y'all thinking. Dude, that freaked me out so bad.
Yeah. Oh man, that's creepy. That's all kinds of creepy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it is. It really is. So, but my grandma's house had like a bunch of haunting stuff going on. I think it still does. She doesn't live there anymore.
Is it still in the family?
What's that?
Is it still in the family, or has it been sold off?
Yes, it is. It definitely is. Yes.
Okay. And so there's somebody in the family still living there. Then okay. Do you think she might be sticking around?
How? What's that?
Do you think she might be sticking around, or do you think it's something else?
No, I don't know, dude. I haven't, you know. I'm 43 now. This happened when I was, you know, like 20.
Okay.
So I really don't know the latest things, but I'll tell you what, man, this definitely happened to us.
Wow.
It was scary.
Yeah, that is scary.
It was very scary.
I'm just really glad you guys stopped at that point, because that's when you're getting into real danger zone area. You know, that's when things are going to go real bad in a hurry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, I mean, it would tell you anything that you wanted to hear.
Sure. And that's my position on those
Dude,
things.
it really would.
You don't know who you're talking to. You don't have any idea. You know, it'll tell you something, and it's just you it's a leap of faith that, oh yeah, this is Grandpa.
Right.
Well, you don't know that it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. But I mean, when you were a teenager,
Right.
you know, you ask it something about you that nobody knows, and it answers your question, so you tend to believe it.
Right. Wow. That's powerful stuff, man. But
Yeah.
you know, there's no question those are dangerous. I think they can be used well, but I don't think you guys at that age, you know, knew how to do that. And it doesn't sound like you were given a lot of you weren't given a lot of help there. So
No, Grandma just said, "Here, take this thing home, play with it." Yeah, that's a good idea. My goodness.
Yeah, man.
oof. Well,
So yeah, teenagers shouldn't play with it.
no, and yeah, I agree. I think that it should be done under very carefully and well handled circumstances. But I'm glad you guys are okay,
Did
brother.
you ever use it?
Oh yeah. I used it way back when I was an idiot too. I didn't know what I was
Yeah,
doing.
but do you use it currently, or do you know anybody who does?
Nah, you know, I hear rumblings of people that do just from online and stuff, and that's fine. I mean, I don't think the board in and of itself is evil. I just think that you're opening yourself up to whatever's around, and sooner or later something dark's going to find you. You know, unless you can protect yourself. So,
But it's pretty much like your name, like your show is. It's a paranormal portal, right?
oh sure, yeah. I mean, I very much believe that just by virtue of us discussing this stuff, it encourages activity. We've had a lot of weird things happen through the years of doing the show, and I just kind of consider it's part of the journey. I don't know, nothing really dark or horrible. It's just there's just sometimes weird things will take off, and then I cleanse. You know, I regularly cleanse the studio and the house and stuff. So I'm very
Yeah, I understand that.
yeah, got to be careful. You know, we don't understand this stuff
Yeah,
very well.
dude. Don't understand what?
We really don't understand this stuff very well, so you got to be careful.
No. What do you think? I mean, how do you think that thing works?
Well, I think that's
I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. You have to have some kind of
so. Yeah.
some kind of like an idea how it works.
Well, here's the thing. I can't say for sure that a spirit moves it, but I think a spirit is involved in some form or another. And I think that's what the problem with Ouija boards is, that you are making direct contact with something and then asking the spirits to come through. And so you're making yourself a blind channel. And any spiritualist, when they're channeling, they're very careful about protecting themselves from negative energies. But you get a bunch of kids surrounding a board and saying, "Is there anybody here that wants to talk?" And at that point, you're inviting them in, and you're letting them directly in contact with you and with your spiritual energy, and that's where it can turn ugly. So you're opening yourself to a blind channel, to something you have no idea what it is, and you're allowing it to work through you to the board that you are holding and working on. So that's where the danger is, and that's where the attachments form, is because you've already given it an open door. Come on in, let's talk. Well, I mean, I think that there are rules, so to speak, in that they can't just come and just attach to people at will. There has to be an opening.
You have to welcome them?
Yeah, they have to have an opening of some kind. And sometimes that can be, that can be sometimes through drugs or chemicals. It can be through emotional pain and problems. It can be for any number of reasons. You might have a weakened aura. But using a Ouija board, you're giving them a green light through all of that and saying, "I welcome you in, come through me and talk." Well, you don't know what you're talking to. And sometimes you're going to hit something negative and dark that has other plans. So.
Yeah. I think it was from like teenage naivety,
Sure. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's no question. I don't think any kids should be playing with that kind of stuff, because I don't think there's any way they can understand what they're dealing with. I'm not sure we adults would understand.
I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry.
I'm not sure that us adults know what we're dealing with, but much less so children,
Yeah. But what is that? I mean, this is a crazy question, but how should I feel about my grandma, who was maybe a witch or not?
Yeah, I was going to ask you what you knew about that.
But I don't really know anything about it, but I'm in South Louisiana.
Right, yeah.
And there's a lot of voodoo and all that stuff like that down here.
Right.
Sure.
She went to Catholic church. It could have been a cover. I don't know.
Right.
But what I saw with my own eyes was real.
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, no doubt there. It really interests me when you said that you thought that maybe there was some idea that she might be a witch, and I thought to myself, that would so figure, and then you said she went to church and all this, and it may be a cover.
Yeah.
We're just speculating. We're not saying it's true. I'm just going with it. But it would not surprise me, though, that maybe that was some of it is truth, and it would not surprise me, depending on what tradition or path they follow, that Ouija board could have been something they used in dare I say seances, for lack of different terms, in tradition rites. Things like that. So it would not surprise me if that's the truth. So, and
the other thing to remember is that the term that there's many people that are very religious from all different religions that still practice witchcraft, because witchcraft in and of itself really isn't a religion. In a lot of ways, it's there's plenty of Christian people that practice that. There's plenty of Catholics. There's other religions that are involved in some of these kind of traditions. These magical traditions don't. What I'm trying to say is that witchcraft in and of itself is not a dark thing. It's all about how it's it's used.
Yes.
So she could have been a witch.
How somebody will use it.
Yes.
You're exactly right.
Yeah. So
I agree with that for sure.
So she could very well have been, but that doesn't mean that she was a dark and questionable person. It just means that she had that as part of her spirituality.
And there are Christian witches. You can get online and find Christian witch groups, covens, whatever you want to call them, whatever they call themselves is what's important, is what do they call themselves. You know, and there are a lot of Christian traditions that use those traditional tools, whether it be pendulums or power crystal grids or Ouija boards or whatever. They may call them, and this is something else to be aware of too. They may call them angel boards. They may just call them spirit boards, which is what they were called before, you know, what was it, Hasbro or Parker, you know, brothers, you know. So it wasn't always called the Ouija board. It was called a spirit board or an angel board or something to that effect, because there's a lot of people that have the idea that if my intent is only to allow angels or positive spiritual beings through this board, then that's all that will come through it. But I don't believe that necessarily.
No.
So
that didn't happen, man. That didn't happen. That didn't happen.
Yeah. No, it's
And she continually, I mean, we gave in and started to use it. She had been doing this for a long time before this.
right.
yeah.
But, I mean, so we are uninitiated in Ouija, right?
Right.
We don't know what to do. We don't know how to close it. We don't know anything about it.
Right.
But she, I mean, dude, she insisted that we played a Ouija board.
Right. Right.
That is different. I'm not sure why she was so anxious for you guys to do it. That's I mean, that's hard to understand, but it could just be that
I don't know either.
maybe she was just excited about it and wanted to share that with you. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Sure. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can only guess. Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
it's some really wild stuff, brother. And again, I'm really glad
Dude,
you guys.
that really happened.
Oh, I believe
It
you.
really happened.
I would be a fool not to believe you know the stories people bring to the show, and I have no doubt you experienced what you experienced. I've seen a lot of weird stuff in my life, so who am I to say that what you had experienced isn't real? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Me and my dad were fishing. You know what chocolate is?
I don't.
Crappie.
Okay.
Crappie?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So crappie bite in the winter where I live.
Okay.
My dad has a deck on the water. And we got a really nice deck with some lights.
Oh, okay.
So we were fishing crappie one night. We've been doing this forever.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, we hear this, woo, and dude, it was crazy.
Ooh.
It sounded, at first, I thought it was a siren, but it wasn't a siren because it kept changing pitches.
Mm.
And it was loud.
Like a Rugaroo.
So, yeah, it probably was the Rougarou. Probably was the Rougarou.
Yeah, brother.
But dude, I think it was a Sasquatch, really.
Sure. Yeah. I wouldn't surprise me. They've often are reported as making siren-like sounds. You know, all
Yeah,
kinds of-
man.
they have incredible vocal power.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was obviously across the bayou, but man, that thing was loud. And when it would stop, you could hear something in the distance repeating the same thing.
Oh.
This happened for hours.
Oh, they were on the move then, brother. They were probably hunting.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that was crazy. That was crazy.
Wow, that's wild. That's scary stuff, man. Because I, you know, there's no doubt those things are down there. There's probably not many places in the whole continent they aren't. They're just everywhere, and there's so many stories coming out of Louisiana, Mississippi, eastern Texas. All of that area is just peppered with stories of the Bigfoot, the swamp apes, the Honey Island swamp monster. All that comes from your neck of the woods. So they're down there.
Yeah.
I don't doubt that for a minute.
Yeah.
Oof.
So I'm really down at the bottom. You could probably tell by my accent.
Oh yeah.
I'm really down at the bottom of the boot at in Louisiana.
I love
man, yeah. So that's my story, Stu.
Cool.
Well, I really appreciate you calling in,
That's
brother.
awesome.
It's been
That's a great
fantastic talking to you.
Man, no problem. No problem. I love listening to y'all. I'll tell you what, I'm going to hang up. I'm going to listen to y'all some more.
All right.
So, did we get a first name for you, caller?
I'm Ben.
Ben. Very good. Okay,
Thanks,
cool.
Ben.
Awesome.
And if you remember any more, call in again, brother.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you.
All right. Hey, I could tell you a couple more things.
You want to do that on a podcast?
Yeah, Ben, do you want to be a guest on our podcast?
No, y'all go ahead, man. Y'all go ahead and do it. Maybe we could do it a different time.
Yeah, please call in again. I'd love to hear the rest of what you got.
All right. Cool. I'm going to do that.
All right, Ben. Have a great night, and thank you again.
Oh, yes. Thanks for the awesome
Have
story.
a good show.
Yep.
All
Thank
right,
you.
see ya.
All right, guys.
Wow.
All right.
That's really cool.
Wow. And that just kind of, frames up what we talk about when we talk about the Ouija board and understanding what it's about, knowing how to open and close, set your intent, all those kinds of things. Because you just put that planchette on there and you put your fingers on there, you've just energized the board.
And your
We're
intention.
gonna find out.
Yep, your intentions definitely energize the board too. So energy follows intention, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that. That's one thing that was pounded into my head from a very early age. Careful about your energy. Energy follows intention.
Yep.
So and certainly using a spirit board, Ouija board, you obviously have a very clear intention. So, but I got to go get a libation quick. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break here, just a couple minutes. Hang on to your seats. We will be right back for more of the Paranormal Portal. So, don't go away. I'll leave you with these fine musical musings of myself with some videos to watch. So, we'll be right back.
Everybody likes to play their games. Everybody loves to place their bets. They don't understand the price I paid. They don't care to comprehend. Trace their lines upon my body, dripping scars across my heart. Raging anger boils inside me as their lies keep falling apart. But I'm not told yet. I'm not told yet. I'm not told I am finished with my silence. I am not a stupid boy. No more breaking me with kindness, just you dance upon my joy. Leading me with empty promise, you're just another fucking
This looks extraordinarily bad.
They linger in a perpetual dream state, a nightmare from which they cannot wake. I can't see you, Mommy! Where are you? I've never sensed anything like it. Carol Ann is not like those she's with. They're attracted to the one thing about her that is different from themselves. Her life force. It is very strong. It gives off its own illumination. It is a light that implies life and memory of love and home and earthly pleasures. Something they desperately desire, but can't have anymore. Right now, she's the closest thing to that.
Poltergeists are usually associated with an individual. Hauntings seem to be connected with an area. A house, usually.
Poltergeist disturbances are of fairly short duration, perhaps a couple of months. Hauntings can go on for years.
Why, yes, they do. All right. I thought I'd make the experience a little more genuine coming off of that break. So I played that for you guys. Hope you guys don't mind. And I think the sound is obviously
Much better.
well, it's stereo sound. When we get it, that's part of the lead in when we're on the network.
Right.
So it comes through the network feed, and it's something I wrote and put that all together a long time ago. But the music I wrote, but it's just a droning synth kind of thing. But I liked it. But I just thought it'd be neat to put it on here in stereo because you guys are always hearing it in mono.
Now
so.
you got the full experience.
Now you've got the full dynamic
Now
experience.
you know why there are people who don't like it.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
scares me every time I hear that music. I gotta turn my speakers down. I gotta take my headphones off. I gotta turn my phone on mute.
Yeah, so there it is. Hello to everybody. Good to see everybody out there that's tuning in tonight with us. Special thanks again to Ben for that epic call. We appreciate it, brother. We will definitely be looking forward to hearing from you again for the
Yes.
rest of your stories. That was
Yes.
phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
And then you played the video because the last part of that
Yes.
break segment is the Zozo board.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of Ouija sessions in there.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I thought it was fitting. So I don't know. You got to do what you got to do.
He says, I'm not a great storyteller. You did great. It was awesome.
No, you really did.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So
What's his chat name?
BDB. Hold on. It's BPD 1976.
Okay, well, cool. Great to have met you, sir. I love meeting, meeting and having a chance to talk with all of you guys. I love it when you guys call in. And meeting more and more of you is always a thrill. So thank you.
right.
Every one of you guys, I'm sure, has stories. There's no question. We all have paranormal experiences.
Except me.
You've had them too. You're just so logical. You logic yourself right out of your own experiences.
Maybe I like it that way.
Well, no, there is. Hey, when the ground is flat and firm, it's always a good thing. I'm not taking that away from you. Believe me. Got a couple things I want to read tonight. So here's an article from paranormaldailynews.com.
Wow.
This is an article by Amanda Jolliffe. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's Ghost Hunting. Will the price of fame be your... Will the price of fame be your soul?
Oh, my.
Little punctuation on that. Did I have your attention?
Do I have your attention?
Do I have your attention now? So this is an article called "Ghost Hunting Will the Price of Fame Be Your Soul?" And let's see what she says. So let's face it, anything regarding the paranormal or the unexplained is compulsive, which might go away towards explaining the current ghost hunting mania. Yep, trust me, I'm with you on this. Ironically, seeking the truth for evidence of continued survival of my raison d'etre. I don't know how to say that Frenchy, but that was the raison d'etre.
We should have maybe Ben knows.
D'etat. Yeah,
Maybe Ben knows.
Ben, call in. Tell me how to pronounce that, will you?
We got Jake too. Jake might be able to pronounce it for us.
Yeah, Jake has a pretty unique vocabulary as it is. So, ghost hunting TV shows and paranormal YouTube channels. Thank you.
Us. They forgot to say podcasts.
Thank you very much. And podcasts are increasing with daily popularity. Investigators all over social media are poking around in the dark with EMF meters and REM pods, and they can be found in just about every abandoned, derelict building or spooky location around the globe. We got to get a REM pod.
Yeah, okay.
You know what a REM pod is?
It's the one that detects when something's within a certain...
Well, it's got that antenna, and if a spiritual energy makes contact with it, you can set it off with your hands, too. If you touch that antenna, it looks like a big, thick hockey puck.
Okay.
It's got an antenna, and it senses that EM field or any energetic field around it. So those things are cool.
Is that like the one that Obake had? Or is that one different?
No, I'm not sure what he had. He had a proximity detector of some kind, but I don't know if it's the same concept as a REM pod. But REM pods are great. And they can be found in just about every abandoned, derelict building or spooky location around the globe. Many diehard fans also get good fortune to join TV presenters on weekend investigations. Judging by the popularity, these regular events must be quite lucrative. Not so much.
Not in our case. Wow.
Not really, no.
I don't know who they're talking about, but I'd sure like to be one of them.
We're still waiting for that part. But have you also noticed, intriguingly, an increase in celebrity exorcists? Some even have had their own Twitter accounts. Is this mere coincidence or cause and effect? Has ghost hunting gone mad? It says, underneath the black baggy t-shirt, baseball cap, and arms full of skull tattoos, you'll find the paranormal investigator, his muscly, roughy tufty. And out there looking for demons. Hang on a minute. What, seriously? Demons? Stop saying you're a demon.
Are you going to show that picture?
I gotta show that.
Because you know
that cartoon
you
is
want
awesome. That it's got some visual cartoony stuff with it, so I got to put that on the screen for you guys. There it is. Yeah, that's awesome. That is so awesome. No, stop saying you're a demon. No, it gets me on more paranormal TV shows because they all drop the demon word. This has always been a big eyebrow raiser concerning the whole crazy ghost hunting circus. Why are paranormal investigators only seeking danger, evil spirits, and demons? Mm-hmm. Is it just fear-based adrenaline kick, or is there a hungrier, deeper desire for fortune and fame? Perhaps because of the essence of paranormal investigations in a dark, supposedly haunted location or cemetery, the paranormal investigators are subconsciously already at that level where the only encounters are sure to be of a malevolent nature. Let's hope not. That's
pays a whole lot better.
I'm sure it does. Well, you probably get better, viewers or more viewers, the more sensational it is, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So Kate from the Phantom Finders team recently found unexplained bruising after a night at the Edinburgh Vaults, home to the resident evil spirit, Mr. Boots. Yeah, those are the tunnels under Edinburgh, over across the pond, and they are they're crazy. I mean, they go on forever underneath there. It's not like the Paris catacombs, but it's not unlike them either. It's a sprawling tunnels underneath the city,
right?
Where these people that couldn't afford their rent and stuff would just kind of get kicked down to these tunnels. It was really, really pretty dark. Bump. I know, but I mean, literally, it was a different time. It's like you can't pay your rent, then you're out. Right. And these tunnels were the only place people could go to get shelter. And of course, they were full of disease and prostitution and all kinds of vile things. So a couple of weeks ago, I visited Edinburgh Vaults. I've never been here before. To be honest, I knew very little about it. I knew it was an underground, so it might be a little bit eerie, and that there must be some sort of activity down there. We entered the double height room. The guide was stood at one end, telling us about the people who would have lived down there, and I was right at the back. The room was very dark and lit by candlelight. I thought someone was behind me, so I turned to see who it was, as I was going to apologize for standing right in front of them, but there was nobody there. But it felt like there was, so I took a photo of the corner of the room, and on my phone, the little circle appeared for facial recognition, which I thought was pretty weird. Reminds me of Snapchat filters, right?
Well, remember when we were out in Coloma, I told you and the people that were there, I said, the little what is it, the
Focal, yeah.
the thing that
Face recognition?
face recognition. I said it was popping on as I was walking around the mayor's house.
Oh, I don't recall you saying that, but I'm sure you did. I was just a little preoccupied.
Well, you answered back. Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Maybe I didn't understand what exactly you meant. I'm sorry.
You understood it by reading that, but I had to tell you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I appreciate that.
Please, I digress. Go ahead.
I actually appreciate that you had that experience, because I think that that's profound.
Just because the little thing popped up and it wasn't necessarily a...
Well, I will say that those things can pop up. Even if there's rocks that the sensor can think, hey, is that a face? Because it looks like two dents and a raised part. Oh, there's nose and eyes,
Right.
I think those sensors are, can be pretty sensitive to the whole pareidolia thing, where if
Right.
it looks like a face, it'll just, boom, put it on there.
Yeah.
But the little circle appeared for facial recognition, which I thought was pretty weird. Anyway, fast forward to later on, we're back upstairs reading the information board in the exhibit room, and apparently Edinburgh Vaults are one of the most haunted places in all of Britain. And there's a man who reportedly stands in the corner of the double height room and points and laughs at people.
Huh.
This man is known as Mr. Boots. Creepy. People have been known to leave the vaults with unexplained bruises and scratches.
Wow.
What next? Judging by the growing numbers in these cases, reported A-class EVPs, SB7 spirit box communications of growling intent, Ouija boards, Zozo sessions, cold spots, oppressive atmosphere, and being pushed in the dark. Let's assume that you have indeed really found a baddie. What next? Do you really want your life turned upside down by unseen forces?
Not really.
No, exactly. Rather than brandishing your demonic bruisers and scratches as medals of honor all over social media, perhaps it's worth considering, if this was a demon communicating with you, what did it actually want? Apparently, by all accounts, what demons want is not the greatest. The greatest what? They want to incite spiritual warfare, kill, destroy, murder, lie, confuse you, keep you from discovering the truth, and will accuse you of things you have not done. They can leave you feeling truly suicidal and destructive. As far as most paranormal teams are concerned, this might be a bit of a conversation killer, but isn't that the risk quite a high price for a few YouTube subscribers? The paranormal frenzy is pretty much focused within the West. People in the East are a lot more generally accepting and respectful of spirituality and the dangers, and thus seem quicker to recognize demonic activity. Hindus often credit bad luck or circumstances to evil. In Japanese culture, it's not unusual to light bonfires or lanterns in respect and send the dead back to where they came from.
Yeah.
Buddhists will keep a little spirit house and make offerings of food and water, whilst we in the West are divided by looking for rational explanations, scientific rather, or I thought you were waving at me or something. Your hand was going up and down. Scientific or perhaps mental health to attribute, which can make obsession and possession more difficult to recognize. So if the war is real, would you go out to war unarmed? The likes of Gary Galka and Bill Chappell should be applauded for their often groundbreaking inventions. Gary's heartbreaking loss of his own beautiful teenage daughter, Mel, whose namesake was the reason for the Mel meter to be named. He built the Mel meter, led to him to develop and communication methods with her, which is truly inspirational and pioneering. However, The preliminary problem in the war against evil may not be what cool gadgets we have within our armory, but what strength of discernment we have within ourselves. Right there.
Wrong.
Speaking of discernment,
Oh boy.
that's Mr. Baggins. By definition, discernment is the ability to judge, judgment, enlightenment, sensitivity, subtlety, and perceptiveness. Zach Baggins, lead investigator and presenter of the hit TV series Ghost Adventures, is a prominent example of developing discernment within the current paranormal field.
What? Okay.
Well, let's read what it says first. But he didn't start out discerning much. But when talking to biography.com, he admitted to having much healthier respect for what he did than when he first started investigating. Along the journey, he feels that he has developed his own sixth sense and is now able to feel and channel the emotions of the spirits and their power. Zach likened this to the movie Avatar when they connect their tails to the other creatures. He also recognized... Sorry.
In his case, it's ass to ass.
Ooh, I'm going Family Guy over here. He also recognizes that this can be very dangerous, which could indicate that he has truly encountered evil and the consequences of doing so. Recently, despite a 4-hour Halloween episode held within Zach's haunted museum, he finally decided not to open the Dybbuk box, reportedly one of the most haunted objects in the world, due to concerns for his health. One would hope the hype surrounding this was not merely for show ratings. The great news is, however, if you believe that demons and malevolent forces are out there, you must also be open to the possibility of their polar opposite. Thankfully, anything of evil disposition is controlled by God, and in his name can be commanded. Stay safe. Well, there is that. I mean, prayer is a protection, right? And so is faith. And you can certainly have and wear things, objects that can protect you if you have the faith that they do. So, I mean, it is possible to, at least mitigate some of the danger just with healthy spirituality. I think so, anyway. I always I always have a hagstone on, all the time. And, I feel better doing it. If you don't believe in that kind of stuff, cool. I mean, it's fine. But I think it helps. I think these old ancient wisdoms they exist for a reason.
Quartz tourmaline for me, baby.
Quartz tourmaline for Don. I also have, other things that I carry with me. But that's, my own little wards.
Goodness, look at your cat. He is trying to get in my lap. Wow.
He's like, hey, why don't you pet me?
Hey, guys, come on. Hey, guys, I want to be on TV, too.
Yeah,
Hey,
he's been on lately. He's been
guys.
right in my face,
Hey,
usually.
Guys, don't step on my...
don't
Last
let
week
him do
he was on my computer. I'm like, no, get down.
Yeah, he loves a good keyboard.
Yes.
There's something about a keyboard for that cat. He's always cranking to get up on them. I can hear him purring.
Yeah, I know.
That was like some aggressive purring, Don. You bring out the... Obviously, you have a gentle touch, Don.
I can... Don't speak. Don't speak, Don. Shut up.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
Hey, guys. Yes.
It's an endearing quality.
Yes, Cha-Cha, he has a lisp. Hey, guys, come on. Come on, guys, don't leave me behind.
Yeah, well, the cat's loving you. He needs some scratchy love.
Yeah, scratchy lovin's.
or he'll give you some.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's got some talons, that one.
Oh, no.
Yeah, don't let him up there, please.
Okay.
We've been having lots of discussions lately about walking on the desk. So, because he has a tendency to step on my mixing board and change a lot of things.
Yes.
Depressing buttons that were once pressed.
Hey, okay, we're done. We're done. Go talk to Dad.
Oh, no, don't talk to Dad. Dad doesn't have time to talk right now because I'm already talking. Already bringing it to the portal. Bringing the show live and in living color. So there's another article here on Paranormal Daily News which I thought would be interesting to cover. And
So
it's
Newbie Doobie Doo says Zach opened the Dybbuk box during a lockdown special.
it was anticlimactic. I heard about that. Now that you say that.
That's like Geraldo opening.
Newbie dooby doo. I love it. Newbie dooby doo. Ah, that's clever. I love some of the names you guys come up with. They're just so clever. It's like, oh, wow. I never would have thought of that in a million years. Got to hydrate, Don. I'm doing a lot of reading. Why don't you do some reading, Don?
Well, I thought you were going to talk about hearing about him opening that.
Oh, I just heard that it was anticlimactic. Yeah. I mean, I don't know much more than that. Then he opened it, and it was really nothing to it. Well, according to the legend, the rabbis got rid of all the Dybbuks, so I don't know. I don't know why they felt that there was something in that box.
Leave my feet alone, cat.
Wiggle your toes, Don. See what happens.
Yes. He said, ha!
Don will start speaking in tongues.
No, those aren't tongues. That's sailor.
Yeah,
Or maybe a little pirate in there, too.
a little bit of pirate, sure.
So, I was looking through, are there phantom kangaroos in North America?
Ooh, are there really?
Well, let's find out.
Let's find out later.
Are there any wild kangaroos in the U.S.? Phantom species are creatures reported to exist far out of their home ranges. You think? In the United States, I think that's way far out. Everybody knows kangaroos, those hippity-hoppity things that carry their kids around in their pockets. They're supposed to live in Australia, so why have people spotted them in North America?
That is weird.
They've been dubbed phantom or errant kangaroos. It almost sounds like a title, errant kangaroo.
I'm the Duke of Errant.
These elusive marsupials have been documented around the United States for over 100 years. What's going on with these out-of-place animals? And can the sightings really be believed? With sprawling fields and farms, it appears that rural America would be a great habitat for the kangaroos, especially the southwestern states that maybe more closely mimic their outback habitats in the wild. Large, non-indigenous... Large...
What was that, Don? Do it again.
It was large indigenous... large non-indigenous... Indigenous, that's what I said. Animals have certainly gained a foothold in Australia, from camels to pigs and even possibly big cats. Is it possible the land down under may be exporting some critters of their own?
All right.
That's not a kangaroo. This is a kangaroo.
I just went to work. Men at work. But
some believe these cryptid kangaroos aren't Aussies at all, but instead a rare species yet to be classified by science.
Wow.
It seems like a stretch, but it's not as bonkers as it might sound. Kangaroos and other marsupials all evolved from a common ancestor. In fact, there are still marsupials in America today. Yes, we know that. Is it then unreasonable to think a species of kangaroo may have evolved in the Americas? And could these creatures maintain a small, obscure population out of sight of humans? Bigfoot does. Wherever they come from, people have claimed sightings of cryptid kangaroos in America for decades. Errant kangaroo sightings explained.
Okay.
Errant kangaroos have been spotted in America dating back to 1899, from Minnesota to California to New Jersey to North Carolina. There are a few grainy pictures floating around and even some police reports, but no animals, living or dead, have ever been recovered. Of course, the most popular explanation for the sightings of wild kangaroos in North America is the mistaken identity.
It's probably just dogmen. Okay, go ahead.
Deer run rampant in many areas of the country. And they are of similar size. Deer do bear a vague resemblance to a kangaroo from the neck up.
Deer do bear. That's funny.
That's what it says. Deer are also capable of rearing up on their back legs for very short periods of time, though to see one is rare. White-tailed deer jump and bound quite capably, but of course they don't hop on their hind legs, and one would think it would be easy to spot the difference. Otherwise, there are a few American animals that can logically be confused with a kangaroo. As large marsupials, they are unique in the world and have no equivalent in North America. So is it possible that Australian kangaroos have somehow managed to gain a foothold in America?
I'm going to go with yes.
Few. Sorry.
Is this multiple choice? I'm not.
No, it's not. Shut up. Fugitives from the zoo. Australian kangaroos have escaped from zoos or private properties are another possible cause of sightings. There are several animal sanctuaries around the United States housing kangaroos, numerous zoos, and other unknown number of unlicensed owners. Tiger King. If these animals have escaped from a private citizen who owned them illegally, it's not likely that they'd be reported. Is it possible some of these animals have established a breeding population over the years? One more interesting explanation for phantom roos is that they represent a species of rare marsupial not yet classified by science. The North American roo, while biologically plausible, is a stretch. It's tough to imagine that an animal that thrives in fields elsewhere in the world would go undetected for so long in America.
Wow. That's pretty wild.
It's even harder to imagine never getting shot by a hunter.
That's true. Yeah.
Could kangaroos survive in America? There are marsupials in America, most notably South America. North America, there are marsupials in the Americas, most notably South America. North America has the possum, but south of the Isthmus of Panama, there are nearly 100 species of marsupials, including 60 species of possum.
Oh.
In fact, Australian marsupials originated in South America many millions of years ago in Australia. I am coming to a point. South America and the Arctic are connected. These days, there are tremendous differences between America and Australian marsupials. That is, except for the animal called Monito del Monte. Strangely, this critter shares more genetic similarities with Australian marsupials than its American cousins. It's apparently the only extant member of the family of marsupials that went on to colonize Australia.
Oh.
What does this mean for the American roo? Obviously, this tiny animal wouldn't be mistaken for a roo, even if it did somehow make its way to North America. It means the possibility exists for convergent evolution. This is when the distant ancestors evolve similar traits despite their complete separation. So if nature decided the model worked in Australia, might nature decide the same type of creature would evolve in America? The paranormal side of the phantom kangaroo. Unfortunately, there is another side to the phantom kangaroo sightings. Well, I'm just reading.
No, I know. I'm just laughing.
Fortunately for us, there is another side.
There you go.
We're going to just skip that word. There is another side to the phantom kangaroo sightings that caused the whole idea to take a more ridiculous turn.
Ooh.
Ghostly kangaroos. Creatures that attack people and feed on livestock and beasts that appear to be crossbred with creatures reported alongside the reported normal kangaroos. As though it is an interesting thought for population of wild kangaroos to live in North America, they sometimes get mixed up with less realistic cryptids such as chupacabra or the Jersey Devil. For serious cryptozoologists, it's important to separate the two types of sightings, and perhaps this strangeness can explain the lack of interest in the American kangaroo by the general public. It's just too darn weird. The cryptid kangaroo deserves more than a passing glance when it comes to research and public interest. Unfortunately, there are far more interesting legendary creatures loose in America that command attention.
Yeah.
But it's easy to imagine that the first captive North American roo could stun the world and turn science on its ear.
Oh, ear.
Ear,
Okay.
yeah, we're talking about kangaroos.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The American kangaroo. Could there be a population of errant kangaroos living in North America? Or there could be a much more mundane explanation. We see cases where errant big cat populations appeared to have gained footholds in places like the United Kingdoms and Australia. Generally, these animals are assumed to have escaped from private owners, perhaps over decades, and now have established a breeding population. Whether they are escaped pets or undiscovered species, it's fascinating to think that roos might exist so far away from home.
That is wild.
There you go.
Huh. You know, I've never heard of this, any sightings of kangaroo in North America. I never have. That's a first. Now, I will say, though, that somebody apparently trapped what they called the chupacabra, but it looked like a kangaroo with fangs. And there's footage of it out there, and you can find it if you look for it. But I think it was a veterinary clinic or school. There was some students out there, or they were actually employees, were out having a cigarette break in this,
Which is when all paranormal experiences happen.
That's cigarettes in the paranormal, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. There is definitely a correlation. Don and I are convinced. If you smoke, you're more likely to have paranormal events happen, but especially depending on what you smoke. But they apparently had seen this thing out there in this stretch of woods next to their clinic or school, and so they set out a live trap, and sure enough, they caught one, and there's footage of it, them going around this container, this live trap, and recording it. And it does look like a small kangaroo, but it has fangs. It has these fangs. And so they were thinking, well, maybe this is a chupacabra, and maybe it is. I don't know. What the hell? But it did look like a kangaroo, and they reportedly observed it locomoting like a kangaroo as well. Somewhat bipedally in a hopping motion, very similar to a kangaroo. So is that what people are seeing? And that's a possibility. But check it out if you haven't seen that footage.
Kangaroo.
A fangaroo. Maybe, Chris. That could be it. Could be a fangaroo, but it's out there. It could be a type of deer. I think that is a type of deer. You're right, Digger. It could be a type of deer, too. But I just have never seen a deer with fangs. Now, I will say, and this is something that I became introduced to this paranormal concept through the Confessionals podcast. They interviewed someone who saw bipedal deer.
Right.
And I've never thought of that. I mean, I'd never even considered that possibility. I'd never heard anything like it. But if you check out the Confessionals podcast, Tony it interviewed somebody that witnessed these deer that were bipedally chasing the car, and they looked like deer, but they were up on two legs. And so is that a skinwalker kind of thing? Maybe. I don't know, but whatever the hell it was, that's really bizarre.
Cha-Cha says vampiroo.
Vampiroo.
Redneckaroo.
Jumper,
yeah, okay.
You're supposed to be thinking of portal names, not names for these fang kangaroos.
The southern hickaroo.
There's all kinds of roos out there, apparently, ladies and gentlemen. But the weird thing is that these claims are out there. There is that footage, though. I would suggest you look on YouTube for it, for you trapped chupacabra or whatever. Veterinarians trapped chupacabra. I don't know. I think it had to do with the veterinary clinic, which I thought was unique, that they did end up releasing it again, which I thought was really bizarre, that they had captured a creature that defied description, defied any kind of recognition. And yet they go, well, that's weird. We caught it. Let's let it go. I mean, that was the perfect opportunity to bring it in and study it. I'm not saying they got to dissect it, but do some samples.
Yeah.
At least check it out. Find out what it is. Kind of catalog it, maybe.
Blood sample.
Yeah. Give it an
sample,
X-ray or two, you know.
Artificial insemination.
Jesus, Don.
Well, if you're going to have one, you might as well have two.
I think they require dinner first.
Oh, well, isn't this a good enough time?
Apparently not. They're not cheap dates, as far as I understand it, Don. But these weird things are out there, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of weird things are out there, and that's the part I never.
Speaking of weird things, that video you posted of the little.
Oh yeah. I think Karen Elsner got it though. I think that if you look at it, it was interesting, and I can tell you it's not CGI, but she came up with a pretty good explanation. I think she's right on.
And after I looked at it, yeah,
It does look like a little possibly dressed up monkey. But it was pretty compelling at first. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, because the way its hands were on the floor and the way it kind of locomoted with its hands, and it could stand up and run with its little short legs. And I did notice the short legs too. So yeah, that's
yeah.
I think that's right. They shaved the monkey, like the feet and the legs and maybe the arms, and then put it, made a little wig from the shavings,
right?
Made a wig for the head,
or just had a wig and just threw that on top of it, because it really looks like just a monkey running around with a wig attached to it. But it was really creepy at first. I was like, "Ew, that's really strange." I know it's not CGI. Well, parts of it aren't CGI. I think the part where they pull it from the box, that's pretty fakey. There's parts of it that are fakey, but the one just running around the room, it's really creepy. Very strange stuff. But, again, look at the Paranormal Portal Facebook page. You can find it at facebook.com/Paranormal Portal Radio.
Oh, slick.
Slick. I dropped it right in there. Did you hear that?
Nope.
Just like a pro. I swear I've been at this for a while.
It went growl, plop.
Plop. Growl, plop. Sounds like some other plans I got for later. So, I don't know. There's lots of strangeness out there, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what we love here on the Portal. But there'll be more strangeness to come. I'm going to be back tomorrow night. I'll be back with you, and I'll do a Night Terrors episode with you. So thank you to all those that have been showing up for the Night Terrors episodes. I know they're a shorter version. They're a shorter format. They're just an hour, but
they were only supposed to be like 25 minutes.
That maximum. They're supposed to be like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, but everybody kept whining like, it's going to make it longer.
Oh, everybody kept whining.
They did.
He just called you all whiners.
They did. They're like, it's too short. You got to go longer. I'm serious. I got dozens of messages like that. I'm like, well, it was hard to shut it off so quick too.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
did like 2 episodes short, and it was like, I don't feel like I should be done yet, because I've been doing 2-hour shows.
Doesn't feel right here.
Right. So they were first bedtime stories from beyond, but
right.
Oh,
look, hey.
So
he wants your attention.
Yeah, well, he got it. Oof.
Hey, Ben, email Brent, paranormalportalradio@gmail.com about more of your stories.
Yeah, please.
Because I think we might have a basis for another,
Another podcast? Yeah, we'd love to have you as a guest if you'd be willing to call in and get together with me sometime. My schedule could be pretty flexible, but we could record a podcast, brother, of all your experiences. But if you would rather,
if you just want to dole them out, that's fine too.
Yeah.
It makes the portal the YouTube much more interactive.
Absolutely, we love interacting.
Yeah,
we love interacting, ladies and gentlemen. But again, thank you to all of you who've been tuning in for all these. Make sure you're subscribed and like the stream, please. That helps us a bunch. If you're liking it, if you like the stream, click the like.
Your subscription provides the prescription
of love
of Portal.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know. It's just
wow.
I just felt the emotion right there, Don. So I just threw it out. I just went for it.
Are you crying like the Virgin Mary statue in Mexico?
Not
so
crying.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful, though. The love we get from our listeners is amazing. So, but again, that's going to about wrap it up for us tonight. Don, you got anything in closing?
Just don't forget that we are taking suggestions for a listener. What is it called? A listener best of listener's choice episode. Send paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. Send the name of the episode and a timestamp and what, just maybe a little, this is what I thought was funny. And then that would be great. So we can put something together. Also, don't forget, we do have our Paranormal Portal gear at teespring.com/stores, STORES, stores/paranormal-portal.
Yes.
And UQ can be part.
UQ or U2?
U2.
Yeah, U2 can be part.
There's no Bono here, man.
But yeah, we'd love that support, and thank you to everybody who's been donating and the super chats and buying the gear. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much. You guys, have been showing up for us, and we really appreciate it. So, keep the love coming because we can only get bigger. And if all you can do is just let people know about the show, you're doing amazing for us.
That's awesome.
That is amazing. I know some people are in a tight place, and that's cool. I understand. I'm very familiar with that as well. But it just show up, give us likes, and let people know about the show. You'd be doing us a huge solid. So
Yep.
we appreciate it, but we love you all very much. Thank you so much for being here with us. And in closing, I can just say I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. And on Friday, I think we're going to do another paranormal quiz. In fact, we might have a few rounds. So that's all I'm going to say.
What? A
Maybe.
few rounds?
Maybe.
Wow.
But tune in on Friday nights. I'll be bringing you the show then. So we'll get into it in the later part of the show. We'll do some caller quizzes and see if we can give away some more Paranormal Portal prizes. So, all right, guys, love you bunches. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful night.
Good night.
Good night.
Cue credits.